Alright, I'm going to show you how to clean a PCB board. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. This just happens to be the way that I prefer. Pretty simple, fairly quick, and I haven't had any issues with it. And all you need is a bottle of Fantastic, a soft brush, and a little bit of water. The very first thing you got to do is spray down the board with a Fantastic. Get a fairly even coat. Now, depending on how bad the board is, you might not need the brush. Sometimes the dirt will just come sliding right off the board, kind of like you see right there. Pretty gross. Got this board off eBay. I just got it working, so now it's time to give it a little bit of a clean. And it is a centipede board, so it's kind of fun. You can see got some nasty stuff right there we gotta try and scrub off. Just kind of let the cleaner sit on there for a short period of time. I don't know, 30 seconds to a minute maybe. And then you can lightly scrub. And try and get some of that crud off of there. Once you get all the crud off, or as much of it as you can, then you can take it and start getting ready to rinse it. See right there, it's coming off, but it's being stubborn. Only reason I bought this board too is because I'm actually working on a centipede game for a customer. So I have a cabinet with everything already wired for it. Drop it in and test it out. And look at that. It looks a lot better already. And we'll just come through here, being gentle. We don't need to put a lot of force. Don't want to lift any traces up on accident or break any parts or pieces off. And as you can see, as I'm working it more, it starts to get more sudsy. Just going to help take a lot more of that grime and grit and nasty stuff off the board. Now I always do these cleanings well in advance of me planning to do anything with the board. Putting it in a game or selling it. Because the way I let them dry is natural with air, and then I'll finish them off with a little bit of rubbing alcohol if there's any wet spots. So it takes a little bit more time than this method. But that's mainly because it worries me to put it in a heat source like an oven. I've seen many people do it before and it comes out fine, but I just worry too much that I'll screw that up. Yep, we just want to try and get in every little nook and cranny that we can. It'd be a lot easier if you put it on a flat surface. I just don't have a very good flat surface available right now, so I'm gonna do it like this. Just be a little extra careful is all. As you can see, it's already starting to do quite a good job. Let's see if we can get it down here a little more. There go. There's that giant puddle of nasty stuff that already just slid off on its own. And the rest of the stubborn stuff we'll get off with the little brush. Yeah, when I got this board in, it did not work. But, thankfully, it was actually a really simple issue. And I will show you that issue. Alright. Alright, so when I got this game board in, I found a bunch of lifted traces actually right down here for the J1 ROM. So, ended up having to do a little bit of repair work just to try and get those tiny traces to make connection again. Wasn't the prettiest, but it actually works, and it works great. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to let this sit for just a minute. We'll give it one more light little spray to kind of help just let some of the old crud fall off. We'll spray the back of the board and give that a light scrubbing as well too. Once that's all done, we're going to bring it inside the house and we're going to rinse it off with just regular tap water. Alright, so I'm going to finish up the scrubbing and the cleaning, and I'll see you in the house to rinse it off. Okay, now that everything's been scrubbed down gently, all we have to do is run some cool water over the board. You get all the cleaner off. You can use your fingers to get any extra little bit of grime or dirt that was left, but you don't have to be overly aggressive. It's just to get most of the cleaner and some stubborn dirt off. That's it. Sometimes works a little easier in a bathtub, especially when you got a bigger circuit board like this, but I'm not really too worried. Work around this side. Make sure it gets all that chemical off of there. You don't want any of it on the board. Flip it over. This side doesn't need too much scrubbing. It's actually in really good shape. Okay. And that is it. And now we'll go set it up so it can air dry for the next few hours and potentially even overnight. Alright, it's the next day. I decided to go and let the board dry out overnight, mainly because I just really didn't feel like using any rubbing alcohol to help evaporate any leftover moisture. And again, you can just use a little bit of rubbing alcohol on spots that are, I don't know, a little wet still. And the alcohol will help evaporate whatever water or liquid or anything left on the board. But I decided to let it just sit overnight with this little fan blowing on it. And it seemed to do pretty good. It's all dry, and now it's time to plug it back into this cabinet and make sure that it's working just fine. So we'll go ahead and just turn off our little fan, get our setup made up. And we'll take the nice clean board, get it put back inside, and we'll test it. Okay, so I got that all set up. Move these out of the way. Alright, and now we'll get this angled, so we'll find out what happens, if it's going to work or not. Okay, here we go. Interlock switch. It would help to plug the game in. Now we're going to plug it in and try again. Here we go. So far so good. No sparks, no smoke. Got a red light. And there's the game. I'm going to turn off the bigger light. Maybe get a better view. Yeah, there we go. Alright. Yeah. Yeah, the monitor is looking pretty good. This camera's not really doing it too good a justice, honestly. Here, we'll play a quick game and see how well it does. I'm not very good at Centipede, but we'll give it a whirl. As you can see, I'm terrible at Centipede. Whoops. Alright, and that was basically it. So it still works just fine, and that's one of the best ways you can clean a board in my opinion. So, as you can see, it doesn't hurt it at all.